Welcome back, fellow hunters, to this last final edition of How to Hunt the Bloody Changing Greens. Well, today we are looking at some of the most elusive of all, the Rokea, the were sharks. So, what are the Rokeas? I ask you. Well, you ask me in this situation, but point it there. They're were sharks. Okay, I really should have thought of it better beginning. Anyway, contribute to my Patreon campaign for Patreon at Hunting the Bloody Were Shifters, and I'll re-record. I'll bother to re-record an introduction when it goes wrong next time, because you're not paying for this, so you ain't gonna get another introduction. No. Anyway, Rokea. They were given one command by Gaia. Again, I wasn't there for this one. And that one command was survive. So they've dedicated themselves to surviving. And they have become the most colossally boring creatures that you can imagine on Earth. Well, they're not, except they're not on Earth, they're in the sea. They swim. They swim. They survive. They swim. They hunt. They smell. They survive. They swim, and yes, the conversations with them are as earth-shatteringly boring as you can imagine. So, what is the challenge in hunting them? Well, they're pretty strong. Not Macaulay level strong, but up there with the Guru and others. They have various advantages, gifts, stuff like that. But the real challenge in hunting them is actually just finding them. They're spread across the entirety of the ocean. Some of them come on land, but for reasons which I can only call stupid, the other Rokea don't like this and then go kill the ones who go onto land. And they even chase them onto land to kill them on land to show that they can't go on land. And yes, that makes no sense. But they do it. Remember what I was saying about not the most interesting conversation, it's not the sharpest tools in the box. Basically, they have great instinct, they're used to surviving, but if you ever get into a fight with them where you can use cunning tactics, you will win. If one of them walks on land, look out for someone who just walks in front of cars and then isn't killed when they smash into them. That's probably a Rokea, especially if they're still dripping with seawater at that point. So a Rokea on land, pretty easy to identify, pretty easy to kill because they will stick out like sore thumbs. In the sea, on the other hand, they're just all spread out. You can join some National Geographic and some military navies, and they might help you identify at least where sharks are, and then you can just toss grenades at sharks until hopefully some of them will be revealed as Rokea, or Rokea will come to save their kinfolk, but they don't often do it. They're very selfish as well as being bored. They're not conversationalists, they're not social, they're useless. So the main challenge is, yes, just finding them. And then, okay, if you are just in front of them and it's one-on-one, as we've said, if you're cunning, you'll win. But when you find them at that precise moment, you do not have time to hatch an elaborate strategy. So find them, and then be in a position to think things out, follow them, track them, trick them, all things like that. So yeah, invest in ocean going investigations. Join some ecologists. Join if you want to do research on sharks, and help to them that are in danger. Greenpeace will go for that. You can do a lot of things like that to identify them, track them, then maybe you'll find one. And big advantage is if you actually kill them, no one will care afterwards because there's the lack of sociability. Now, once the US government did go a bit overboard and dropped a nuke on a huge amount of Rokea who were gathered together, hats off for initiative and scale. the Rokea got a bit angry at that, and if you can find out who did that, or you can pretend to find out who did that, and slip the info to a Rokea, well, they will have that person in their targets. And if that person or people or organization happens to be on land, they're going to have to come out of the sea, and then they're vulnerable to you. So that's something else you can use. So this ends my long analysis. As I say, donate to my Patreon, and I might be bothered to answer questions one of these days. But what? Oh, I see some people asking for an encore. Well, there is no encore. These are all the changing breeds. There's no other ones. Yes, okay, there are other ones, but they're all extinct. What do we have? The Apis Auroch. Were Aurochs. They were special. They could transform into a giant auroch, which is a big advantage. But they got hunted by the Guru during the War of Rage, because they were very peaceful. They were capable of getting rid of the taint of the worm. They did coalitions. They didn't glorify violence. And they were advising and breeding other changing breeds. They were the wise ones. They organized ones. And they said, you should make that, you should make that. Their advice was always very good, which is why the Guru killed them, because the Guru are vicious bastards. So they're dead. Then what else? The Kamazote. I don't care if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I am pronouncing it wrong. It's the Kamazote. They were bats. They kind of fell to the worm. They kind of killed. They're uninteresting. They're like less interesting Coraxes who are extinct. And then we have the Gronder. They could actually filter out worm taint and purify areas and make it whole again and nice, and everyone could sing Kumbaya. And then the Guru started spreading rumors that they actually served the worm and took the worm taint within themselves. The purification system was seen as a source of corruption, and they were destroyed. There's also the saber-toothed tiger changing breed. The Kara, yes, saber-toothed tigers. They're one of the Bastet. See, pronounced it right that time. And yeah, they went extinct again. Now, what's special about all these extinct breeds? Why did I be involved to mention them? Well, because things are not always so dead as they seem, especially things that can retreat to the spirit world and can then return from the Umbra. So if you find one of these incredibly rare pelts and the creature that's inside it in the spirit world are coming back, now this is an opportunity. But it's also rare. Something massive and special is happening if you see them. So this is where you get to really hunting the greatest game in the greatest situation that'll make the greatest stories, the greatest fire of all times when you can tell it. So yes, look out for the extinct breeds if you can. It would be wonderful if you could find one still alive and then kill it. Well, that's definitely all. And what? You are asking about I may have missed? No, I'm pretty sure I haven't missed any changing breed. Nagah, you say? Well, there's not much to say about the Nagah. The Nagah are all extinct. The Nagah were the enforcers of Gaia, the killers of the other changing breeds, the ones who judged whether the other changing breeds had violated what they were supposed to do, whether they had failed, and then eliminated them. The sort of person, if I may say so, who would hide in the darkness for a long time, but who might judge that the entirety of the changing breeds had failed miserably at their tasks, and then might put up some YouTube videos advising other hunters on how to kill these failures. And as for hunting them, well, that's quite simple. You don't hunt the Nagah. The Nagah hunt you.